Hello everyone, welcome to our biology classes. Here is Radha, and in this session we're going to discuss about the topic mitochondria. Mitochondria. So basically, as we all know, mitochondria is one of the membrane-bound cell organelle present in almost all types of the cell. Like not in the prokaryotic cells, it is commonly observed in the eukaryotic cells, right? So as I told in the last session, eukaryotic cells are the type of cells where mitochondria is present, and also example for eukaryotic cells are animals, plants, fungi, and protista, right? So in the eukaryotic cells, it plays a major role in all the type of cells. Commonly called the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, right? Because it supplies the, so this is the powerhouse of the cell. Because it supplies the energy to the cell, right? That's why it is called as the powerhouse of the cell. And also in the recent years, so many scientists were demonstrated about the mitochondria, that mitochondria plays the important role in all organisms body, that it maintains the body's health in eukaryotic organisms. Earlier, so many years back, nobody has demonstrated about that, but recent years back, so many scientists were demonstrated this topic. If once the mitochondria got dysfunctioned, or if it is once dysfunctioned or damaged, that leads the damage of cell event. And also the dysfunction of the mitochondria leads so many diseases like autism, asthma, like breathing problems, and also it leads the diabetes, and some more health issues. So that's why mitochondria is also important for maintaining the body's health in different eukaryotic organisms, right? And also we can observe so many functions of the mitochondria in the cell. And mitochondria break down the larger molecules into smaller molecules by the help of different enzymes. So different enzymes are also present inside the mitochondria. That's why that plays an important role in the breakdown of the larger molecules into smaller molecules. That process can be called as catabolism. And also that catabolism occurs in the presence of oxygen. In the presence of oxygen. And also it releases that means the mitochondria releases the energy, the release or the production of energy in the presence of oxygen. That is called as aerobic respiration. So in the presence of oxygen, it releases energy. That is called aerobic respiration. And also the mitochondria releases the energy in the form of ATP molecules, adenosine triphosphate. The mitochondria releases the energy in the form of adenosine triphosphate or ATP molecules by that releasing of the ATP molecules we can observe in the Krebs cell cycle or citric acid cycle. So the release of ATP molecules by using the glucose or sugar particles, that process by the process of phosphorylation. That phosphorylation is oxidative phosphorylation. So we can observe release or production of ATP molecules. ATP molecules known as oxidative phosphorylation. This is a major function of the mitochondria we were observed in the eukaryotic cells. Oxidative phosphorylation. Oxidative phosphorylation is also in the presence of oxygen. So, in the presence of oxygen, the mitochondria plays the oxidative phosphorylation function and also aerobic respiration, and also we can observe the catabolism reaction. These three functions are occurs in the presence of oxygen. And also we will see further importance or functions of the mitochondria now. So actually, all the eukaryotic organisms having the mitochondria inside the cell, right? So, and also where that mitochondria comes from, that so in our body, DNA is present in the nucleus. This mitochondria have their own set of DNA, and also the ribosomes. But some cell organelles do not have their own set of DNA. This mitochondria is not a genetic portion. That's why all the mitochondrial cell organelles in all the cells comes from the mother genes, not from the father genes. So these mitochondria are come from the mother part or mother genes. Mother part or mother cells, not from the father cells, because half of the main genes or comes from the maternal body and other half of the genes come from the paternal body, father body. But these mitochondrial cell organelles or comes from the mother body only. So this is the unique feature of the mitochondria. And also we can observe, so this mitochondria have their own set of DNA and ribosomes as we discussed. And also we can see the labeled diagram of the mitochondria along with the different functions of the different parts now. Okay. This mitochondria have the number of enzymes inside the layers or inside the inner membrane. So those enzymes plays different roles in different functions. We will see and we will discuss later now after drawn the diagram. Okay. So we'll see how to draw the labeled diagram of mitochondria now. Okay. So basically we can draw the mitochondria like this. Right. So this is the outer membrane having lot of proteins. The outer membrane having the number of proteins. They are called porins. And inner membrane further that will moves into or that will forms into a finger like or small foldings So these are the foldings of the inner membrane, and also we can observe the ribosomes present inside the matrix of the mitochondria. And also I just told mitochondria has their own set of DNA, right? It has their own set of DNA, and also these are the cristae. The finger like or folding like projections can be called as cristae, and this overall dot-like structures can be called as matrix. Clear? So now we will leave with the parts. So this is the outer membrane, and inner membrane, and the space between the outer membrane and inner membrane can be called as intramembrane space. Intramembrane space. And these folding like or finger like projections can be called as cristae. And this is called as matrix. The area present inside the inner membrane or folding like projections are there, no? So the area present inside the inner membrane projections, that is called as matrix. And also these dot like structures can be called as ribosomes. And I just told these are the DNA or mitochondrial DNA, we can call it as mtDNA. Mitochondrial DNA or mtDNA. So these are the major parts of the mitochondria. Now we will see the functions of different parts of the mitochondria. Even I just forgot to told a thing about the mitochondria. That is, in our body different cells are there, like in our body, like brain cells are there, skin cells are there, hair cells, liver cells, and heart cells, muscle cells, bone cells, right? Different parts of our body is made up of different type of cells, right? So such cells, so in our body different type of different parts are made up of different type of cells. So those type of cells having different number of mitochondria. In our body, the muscles in the heart are highly activated, like brain, heart and muscles are highly active in nature. That's why such type of cells like muscle cells, heart cells, brain cells are having much more number of mitochondrions, because that such parts of our body needs much more energy, right? That's why that that so such part of the cells needs much more energy. That's why they're having large number of mitochondrials. Okay, for example, if we consider a mature blood cells, so mature blood cells do not have any mitochondria. Okay, if we consider the liver cells demands more number of mitochondria, more than 2000. So liver cells demands more than 2000 of mitochondria. Mitochondria per cell. Okay, but in case of mature blood cell do not have any mitochondria. If we consider the heart muscles needs much more mitochondria, because heart is highly active in nature. That's why that needs more energy. That's why the heart muscles demands more number of mitochondria. So in a heart muscles are made up of up to 40% of the mitochondria. That means, so the heart muscles are made up of heart muscle cells are made up of 40% of the mitochondria, because heart muscles are highly active in nature. That's why they need more energy, so they demand more number of mitochondria in the heart muscle cells. So these are the basic functions of the mitochondria occurs in every cell of the life or organism. Now we will see the particular role of the parts of the mitochondria. So as I told, a mitochondria having the outer membrane, inner membrane and intramembrane space along with the cristae, matrix and their own set of ribosomes along with the mitochondrial DNA. We will see the functions of those parts. So now first is outer membrane. So outer membrane having their own proteins. So outer membrane having their own proteins, those proteins can be called as porins. So outer membrane is the one of the layer present outside of the mitochondria which having the proteins, and it is highly permeable in nature that allows the, so these porins makes the channels, these porins are the proteins, those proteins makes the channel to cross the entry of other proteins and other molecules inside the mitochondria. So this is the major role of outer membrane. So it forms the porins, forms the channels to cross other proteins and other nutrient molecules, other proteins and nutrient molecules. So this is the major role of the outer membrane, and inner membrane is the one of the membrane present after the outer membrane. This inner membrane do not have the porins. So this inner membrane do not have the porin proteins. That's why it is even impermeable in nature. This inner membrane is impermeable in nature. This cannot allow any particles or any nutrient molecules like outer membrane. If the molecules or any nutrient particles or any enzymes, even in the inner membrane there is a presence of enzymes and so many proteins, specialized enzymes and specialized proteins are present in the inner membrane, where the ATP is produced in the layer of inner membrane. The ATP is produced mostly because there is a presence of enzymes. Those enzymes plays different roles in different functions. That's why ATP is produced almost in the inner membrane. And also this cannot, so many nutrient particles cannot cross through the inner membrane. So the nutrient molecules and proteins or any other fat molecules entered from the outer membrane and holds in the intramembrane space. Those molecules cannot enter through the inner membrane. If those proteins or any enzymes or any molecules needs to enter inside or through the inner membrane, so they need special transporters. So only through the special transporters those molecules can cross through the inner membrane inside the mitochondria. Understand? This is the major role of the inner membrane. And also we can see that because inner membrane is impermeable in nature. That is, it is impermeable. And also do not have porins. Okay, and also it has many enzymes. And where ATP is produced. Here it is the region where the high quantity of the ATP is produced. Now we will see the further functions of the other parts of the mitochondria, and we can observe here other parts like cristae, right? So cristae is the folding or finger-like projection of the inner membrane, right? Cristae is the foldings or finger-like projections of the inner membrane, where due to the presence of high foldings, so if the foldings are high, then the surface of the inner membrane will high, right? So now we will see cristae. So it is the foldings or finger-like projections of the inner membrane. If the foldings are high, then the surface of the inner membrane will increases. Due to the increase in surface area, the chemical reactions will increases. It increases the chemical reactions. So this is a major role. Due to, if the foldings are high, means surface will increases. If the surface will increases, means the chemical reactions will increases. So this is the major role of the cristae. And also we can see the role or functions of the matrix of the matrix of the mitochondria. A matrix is the portion of the mitochondria where we can observe the ribosomes and DNA. So matrix is the house of the DNA and ribosomes. Okay, we'll see. So it is the house of mitochondrial DNA and ribosomes. Clear? So matrix is the portion of the mitochondria where the mitochondrial DNA and ribosomes are present. So this provides the medium. So the matrix provides the medium for DNA and ribosomes to continue their functions. Okay. Now we will see mitochondrial DNA, functions of mitochondrial DNA. This is the major role. Matrix provides the medium for the mitochondrial DNA and ribosomes. So every cells have their own nuclear DNA, right? But though the cells having the nuclear DNA, mitochondria have their own set of DNA. Why? Because DNA, mitochondrial DNA. Why the mitochondria have their own set of DNA means, so this mitochondria comes from the mother body, as I told, because this is not the genetic part of the organism. That's why these mitochondria comes from the mother body. And the major role of the mitochondrial DNA is it maintains the number of proteins in the cell. So it maintains number of proteins in the cell. Okay, and another function of the mitochondria is it is a supportive structure. It is a supportive equipment of the nuclear DNA. So it acts as a supportive equipment. It acts as a supportive equipment or supportive part or supportive equipment part for So it acts as a supportive part for cells for about 32 genes. So for about 32 genes in the cell, it acts as a supportive equipment or supportive for part for the cell about 32 genes. Okay, and also it maintains the number of proteins in the cell. This is the major role of the mitochondrial DNA. And in mitochondrial DNA, the number of base pairs are less than compared to nuclear DNA. In nuclear DNA, we can observe large number of base pairs, where in case of mitochondrial DNA, we can observe less than 1700 base pairs. This is also one important feature of the mitochondrial DNA here. So comparatively, the nuclear DNA having the much more base pairs, but in case of mitochondrial DNA, less base pairs are present. So those are up to less than 1700. Okay, so these are the major roles of the parts of the mitochondria we were observed. Here I just discussed. Here in the outer membrane we having the outer membrane, we would discuss there is a presence of porins. So those porins further formed into channels to allow or to cross the other molecules like fats and proteins and other nutrient molecules inside the mitochondria. And inner membrane do not have any porins or any channels. That's why and also the inner membrane is impermeable in nature. If the entered molecules like proteins and fat or any other nutrient molecules needs to enter inside the mitochondria, so that needs to a special transporters. Through the special transporters only, those nutrient molecules will enter inside the mitochondria through the inner membrane. And also we can observe the matrix area, cristae area. Cristae is the foldings of the inner membrane. If the foldings are high, then the surface of the inner membrane will high. If the surface of the inner membrane will high, mean then the chemical reactions occurs in the mitochondria will increases automatically. And also we can see the matrix. Matrix is the portion of the mitochondria. It provides the medium for DNA and ribosomes. So, and also finally we will discuss the mitochondrial DNA roles. That mitochondrial DNA maintains the number of proteins in the cell, and also it plays a supportive equipment for all the cells about 32 genes, right? And also further we have to tell that so this mitochondria helps in the this mitochondria play an important role in the metabolic activities, right? I just forget to tell that this mitochondria maintains the metabolic activities occurs in our body, and also it is responsible for the cell multiplication and cell growth. Okay, we'll see. It is responsible, this whole portion of the mitochondria responsible for cell growth and cell multiplication. And also it is responsible for maintaining the metabolic activities. So it is responsible for metabolic activities. Yeah, so these are the major functions of the mitochondria occurs in eukaryotic cells. So it is a major portion where the cell get activated, means due to the presence of mitochondria, because mitochondria have the ability to produce energy. This is the only membrane bound cell organelle which provides the energy to all parts of the body through the cells. So I hope everything is clear with this. If any doubts, please ask in the comments. Until that, thank you.